introductory remarks, and it's very, very encouraging to have this attendance and all the dignitaries here today showing support for Vernon Downs. My name is Gary Bondana. I lead the Labor Union Workers United in Upstate New York, and we represent the union members here at Vernon. The jobs here at the hotel, the casino, and the racetrack. And we're having this event to call on New York State to really save the day here, save this facility, save 160 union jobs here, more counting seasonal workers who work during the months of live raising. And we need action. We want to see this place thrive for years to come, and we are asking for a modest tax relief, approximately $2 million, to just break even and make sure this place does not close. We have a long list of folks, like I said, very encouraging, and we deeply appreciate the support from elected officials here and important figures in our community. So thank you all for being here. This is no particular order, and if you're not here, just move on to the next person. But let's kick it off. So Vernon Town Supervisor Randy Watson here. Would you like to say something?
Yes.
Thank you.
It seems like we were just here for something like this, but it's been 5 years since the agreement was signed, and it's very modest is what they're asking, is 6%. And what they actually give the state is a huge number. I don't have it off the top of my head. It's probably 10 or 12 million. 13 million. It was fairly close. The state is willing to give up the 13 million to give back to. It doesn't make sense. The town of Vernon will take a big hit. Every business in town will take a big hit. It's huge. There's 260 people employed here, and that doesn't include the people in the barns, the harness people, the grooms, the drivers. It's just huge. Every business will lose a couple of people in this town. It's 12% of our budget, the money we get from gaming and from the tax to be on this piece of property. I don't know if anybody else could buy it and run it. I can just close, and I don't know what'll happen here. But I'm really hoping to keep all these jobs and really help our town out. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming today. Thank you.
Next, thank you, Randy. Next up, Assembly Member Marianne Bunchop.
Thank you for having me here today. This is a very important issue. To all the employees, I thank you. And the main reason I'm here is for you. This is a conversation, discussion, serious issue that we've been having in Albany. My colleagues that are here standing with me are well aware of it. They have been supporting these efforts to ensure that a piece of legislation that we have seen this legislation in 2017, 2019, and again, we need it at this time. I think that Gary said it very well in regards, as well as your town supervisor, of the importance of not only this location, but the secondary effects that we see within the community, whether it's a restaurant, a gas station, and so many other individuals that are affected. This is a beautiful location within the great county of Oneida, and it's one that I was here a couple weeks ago for an event, and the number of families that come here to spend time to enjoy this location, it was amazing. And those are the individuals that when you look at financially, this is what they afford and enjoy to be here, whether it's watching the races or if it's enjoying your pool as well as your food and the wonderful hospitality that each one of you employees provide. So the legislation, again, would extend this. It is something that I will continue to advocate. I co-sponsor it. I will work with my colleagues. I appreciate the county executive, Assemblymember Miller and Senator Griffo being here because they are the driving force that we need within Albany, as well as bringing us here today from the union. I look forward to you being out in Albany next week so that you can meet with the leadership to have these future conversations of the importance of what this extension will do. And again, it is something that is the town supervisor discusses. The funding that you bring back to the state, you're just asking for a small piece of it at this time. We'll sit down, have a plan of how to move forward to ensure that we don't have to continue to keep doing this. So again, to all of you, I thank you. I look forward to working with you and for you in Albany.
Thank you. New York State Senator Joe Griffo.
Well, you can see that this has always been a team effort here. And that's the one thing that we have going with us from our local officials, Randy and Gene, our county executive and his team and his leadership, all of us in a bipartisan fashion in Albany, both in the Senate, the Assembly, my colleagues. We understand the importance and significance of this. And, I've had a lot of conversations with Jeff Gorell. Jeff has lamented some of the investments he's made over time. But I know that he has an affinity for this community and for this operation. And I think his requests are reasonable. In fact, in 2017, we held up the entire end of session. And this was my initiative in 2017 because I think Jeff made a reasonable request at that point in time to be treated similarly to what we were doing with other organizations across the state. I have a lot of issues with the Gaming Commission because if I read the legislation, I think they're overstepping their boundaries in how they're making their determinations and impressions. Myron, good to see you here too. So we're going to do everything we can to ensure that we not only educate them, but try to reflect what this means and how it should be handled. So that we have the template from what we accomplished in 2017. I think it, again, is very reasonable and working together here at the local level, along with my colleagues in Albany, we're going to continue to press the case. There is no reason why that this issue should not be resolved. And what I was trying to do with my colleagues here with the county executive and the assembly members in the past is to alleviate this cloud over your head. So one thing I said to Jeff too, the people here they deserve better than to always be worried about what their future is going to be. And that's what we tried to accomplish here. And I had him make the commitment at that time to all of you to say that if he got this, he was going to continue to stay in operation here so that every couple of years you didn't have to look over your shoulder and worry about what was going to happen here based on decisions that were being made elsewhere. This not only involves Vernon, it also involves Tioga, because he has some issues at Tioga Downs too. And again, I think he's making reasonable requests of the state of New York. So we're going to do our best to continue to press this case and to do everything that we can to ensure that people are hearing this, and most importantly, that we try to resolve this before the conclusion of the legislative session, which is in mid-June. So we will do our best. We appreciate all of your work. We know how important all of you are, as well as the facility here. So just know that we're working as a team, and we will work very hard. And I'm hopeful that we will do what we were able to do in 2017 in the end, get it done. So take care.
Assembly Member Ryan Miller.
Thank you all for being here. I come from a family who we had horses here back in the early 80s, and We were horsemen. My father was a horseman. But like the senator said, and the assemblywoman, this has to be parity throughout the gaming community across New York State. We have to make sure that the tax rates are the same here as they are in Del Lago and in Schenectady and elsewhere. That's all we're asking for. There's legislation that's being hopefully put through here, but the thing I'm getting really nervous about is, like the senator said, we got 12 days of session left. And we can't put up a letter of necessity to make this push through, like the governor does with her budget. When we're here, there's 250 jobs that we talk about, union jobs and non-union jobs, but that's not all that's here. It's the agricultural community, and it's the diners, and it's the towns that are affected, and in Oneida County. This is a team effort. We're trying to get the ball pushed across the goal line. Hopefully we can do that. And we got a great team in Albany, and we're going to do everything we can. And just keep your voices as loud as you can keep them, and let's see what we can get it done in 12 days. Thank you.
From the Cornell Cooperative Extension, Marty Brock here.
Yeah, right here.
Thank you.
We've been working with our this facility for years. All the gardens in the back. We partnered with the SUNY Skill Landscape. Just the hay and that supports the farm. The collateral economic impact of this place, people, is enormous. We have to fight to save this place. I mean, it's a gorgeous piece of property. We all have tremendous history here. So thank everybody. But, this is very dear to all our hearts, and we really got to fight to make sure that this saves and all these jobs and all the impact stays here in Central New York and Oneida County. Thank you.
From Mohawk Edge, Chris Lawrence and Hannah Phillips. They here?
I apologize, I have no remarks.
No, it's okay. Thank you for being here. Oneida County Vice President Kathy Gregory Salva.
Good morning.
Thank you. Do you want to say anything, Kathy?
Other than Oneida County Farm Bureau is proud to stand here in support of this action, and knowing that the horse community is important to the Farm Bureau and all of Vernon as well, so they have our support.
Thank you. I didn't forget County Executive Anthony Vicente.
Thank you, everyone. It's kind of hard to follow Marty Brock. I'll do my best. Obviously, I don't want to reiterate everything my colleagues have said, but I will follow suit with some of that and to all of the workforce there. And I'm just not picking on Marty at all, but he says, we have to fight, and he's right. But you know what? We shouldn't have to fight. I mean, because things have been put in place in the past that need to remain. A lot has been said in the last several days about a lot of different things happening in New York State, and you've probably heard of it. I mean, we've got people crossing the borders and everything. We got jobs here that we got to protect. And that's what we should be focusing on. And, when the state, our local delegation is spot on and have been, so this is not directed at them. But the legislative leadership in Albany, the Senate leader, the Assembly leader, and the governor need to look upstate, because this is where things happen. And, the state talked about a multi-billion-dollar surplus. They can't come up with $2 million for this organization. And why are we going through this year after year? So to Jeff Corral, to all of the workforce, to everybody, we stand with you. We will fight, because we have to fight. We shouldn't have to go through this every year. And in Oneida County, Vernon Downs is a staple. It's something that, continues to be an economic engine for us, in terms of racing, wagering, and everything that goes on here, horse racing, this facility, Vernon Downs, the casino, all of that is essential to the economic growth and impact of this region. So to Randy, and we stand with everybody. We're going to keep working. We're going to keep pressing. We're going to keep moving forward. We have to, obviously, to the workforce. Again, we are all. We shouldn't have to go through this, even every other year or every 2 or 3 years. Senator Griffo put legislation in, back in 2017, and that has worked. It can be done again. So we will continue to fight. We'll continue to make this a priority, and we will do all we can to make sure that they hear our voices, and more importantly, that they hear yours and everyone else that's impacted by this. So to all of you, again, to Gary and your workforce, to all of the workers here, and Tioga. And I know it's another county, but look, the growth of Upstate is the growth of Upstate. We talk a lot about level playing fields. Let's make it level. It's not. It should be fair for everyone who's in the same business acumen. And when we talk about jobs, and we'll just go back to that for a minute, because in my past I did a lot of work with jobs when I worked at New York State. When there was danger of jobs moving, and we've gone through COVID and everything, the same should apply to these positions as it would to any other, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's other services, whether it's technology, it should still apply here. So that's what we're going to keep fighting for. I applaud, and our delegation is hard at work. They're going to be keeping on this. I will keep on it. I'm joined by Keith Schabel from the County Board of Legislators, who's a strong advocate who represents this district, and will continue to work tirelessly to see what, and to get this through. Thank you. God bless.
The Vernon Town Board, John Peters.
I lived for my whole life. I consider Vernon a racing town. It was a stock car track before it was a horse track. Been a horse track since the early 50s. Vernon Unicron Speedway's over on that side. Vernon Downs over here. 250 employees. I live 3 miles away. The parking lots are packed during the week. I've been over here for events, and the people are amazing. And so I don't want to see this place go anyplace. One of the reasons, if you take a look at this, look what Vernon Downs has donated to education. If our kids are our future, look what Vernon Downs is doing for our education. You can zoom over here. What Vernon Downs also did, food bank, over $1 million, okay? Donation. American Cancer Society, Red Cross, cerebral palsy, local schools, Woonville. Everything is going to be gone if this doesn't go through. We need safe, secure jobs to donate back to the community. So I'm saying we all need to band together, or it's going to kill the town of Vernon. It's going to kill the village of Vernon. It's going to kill everybody around. Thank you very much.
Is Myron Thurston? Thank you, Myron.
Well, I'd just like to say that I've been involved with town government. I was here before there was a hotel. I was here before there was a casino. And I've been involved on and off with town government. And I can tell you that Mr. Burrell and Vernon Downs have been the best owners of this facility as far as giving back to the community. The concerts they have in the summer is brought up over here, all the donations. Mr. Grell takes the money that he gets from the concert that he has for selling the tickets, and he always matches it. And if it's a downtime, say it's a rainy day or there was COVID or whatever, he took all of it out of his own pocket. And you don't find very many people that are that giving back to the community. And he will tell you again and again that he loves horses, because he's told me that I don't know why I do this, because it's a losing proposition, except I love horses. And to have someone that is an owner and has been here and fought battles and doesn't give up, that's very important. And we support him here at the town. The money that we get back every year to help lower taxes for our community is irreplaceable. And the economic impact is larger than what any of us can put our finger on, because it reaches out so many different ways. So I just thank the state legislators for working hard with this and to try to get this legislation through. It's a very important thing for our community, and I thank everyone involved.
Is G. Benatti here?
I really can't say much more than has already been said, but I've been a town board member. I moved here in 1967 for my career, but I've been a town board member for, I hate to say it, almost 50 years. And working with Jeff Burrell has been a great experience. As it's been pointed out, he does a lot of things quietly for the community. We see it in the town of Vernon all the time. Little things, he pops up, we'll give you this, we'll help you with that. That all comes from all of you making this a successful business establishment. So the only thing I can say is I hope the people at upper levels in New York State listen to our representatives, because it's extremely important. I don't think this is a bluff move. I think this is serious. And we in the town are supporting all of you people that work here and do everything you do for this establishment and for the community. So we thank you for everything you do. We thank you, Jeff Burrell. We thank you guys for fighting for us. So we just have to hope good happens in the end. Thank you.
I'm going to Terry Leo from the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, everybody. Vernon Downs has been a long-standing member of the Greater Utica Chamber of Commerce, and we are happy to advocate for this piece of legislation to go through. I was actually on the phone yesterday talking to Assemblyman Miller about this piece of legislation. One thing I'd like to add is we've already gone over many points, but it is National Travel and Tourism Week. And Vernon Downs being here has a ripple effect on the economy in terms of the tourism that you bring to the area. And so this impact would be widespread throughout our community. So we stand with you. We will continue to advocate for you. And we think it's vital that this piece of legislation goes through so that Vernon Downs can be strong for the employees that they give here, for the philanthropy that they give to the community, and for the ripple effect it has on our economy in forms of tourism.
Anyone who I missed that would like to speak? You do want? It's only
Keisha Eagle, I'm a legislator in this area, and I didn't want to upstage some of the other ones. That's why I said everyone speak, but some of my colleagues in the town spoke, so I'll throw a couple comments out. Some of you know today it's kind of like family reunion, because I've worked with many of you. And when you think of this facility and family, the two do go together. So I'm going to share with you a little perspective. I've lived in the community here almost 40 years. Many of you know I spent my career here in the school. But I'm not going to talk about that piece. I'm going to talk about stuff that's more personal. 30 years ago, my daughters learned how to swim in the pool. I've had teachers' conferences just out and crossed in the ballroom. I've gone to a senior prom in the ballroom. Probably you could guess I've spent a few hours at a buffet. I've also admittedly contributed to the welfare of the racehorse industry. Not significantly, but I tend to guard that. But it's family. When you look at the weddings in this facility and how beautiful, Marty Broccoli mentioned the grounds in keeping with that, this facility is part of the community. It's part of the community. And you've heard the piece about jobs. Probably the proudest that I have is some of my former students that sat on the sulkies and rode around the tracks and told me as a 17-year-old they're licensed to drive, to race. The ones that worked in the horse barns that came back with their stories of, yeah, I can't come to a meeting tonight because I'm tied up at the track. And even the ones here in the hotel, whether it's hospitality or cleaning rooms or the service industry, all those jobs matter. And to this community, this facility is awesome. If you look at where places go, whether it's moving up for a certain grade level or some kind of banquet for a program, that's at Vernon Downs. And everything we can do, I salute my state colleagues at pushing that legislation. As a community, we have to stay behind it and make sure that this is here for years to come. Thank you.
Anyone else? Sure.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lynn High. I work at Food Bank of Central New York, and I was sad to receive the news that I had to be here because we love Vernon Downs. I love Vernon Downs personally. I used to come here when I was a kid. My mom taught me how to bet on the horses. But we have had such a long-standing relationship with Vernon Downs. Everybody here that I get to interact with are just wonderful people, but the impact that Vernon Downs has had in the community, I mean, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars given to the food bank over the past 14 years. That has equated to over 1 million meals that have gone to serve people here in Oneida County and in our entire 11 county service area. And to not have that partnership anymore, it will just be devastating to the work of the food bank. And unfortunately, I hate to say it, some of the people that work here might end up going to our partner agencies, to those food pantries, because they're not going to be able to put meals on the table. It is so important to keep this economic fiber in this community. And we're so fortunate to have such a wonderful partner in Jeff Corral, Arthur, who's hiding in the corner, and everybody here at Vernon. We just want to support Vernon as much as possible. Thank you so much for everybody that works here and continues to support the food bank.
Anyone else? Well, everyone, thank you. We're just tremendously grateful for the support, and let's save Vernon Downs and let's get this done by June 8th. Thanks again, everyone.